Hey there, and this is my third time trying to get this review made for the 1955 classic Diaboliques. We're going to be reviewing a Criterion today. And right off, before we start talking about the film, I've got to say, once you put this movie in, if you have not seen the 1955 Diaboliques, then I'm going to tell you right now, it is not the same as the 1996 version, thank God. It is a much better film. And don't watch the introduction first. It is a brilliant introduction, but it will give away things. And it's meant for people that have already seen this movie or are going back in to watch it for a second or third time. There's a great Kim Newman interview after that you can watch afterwards as well. That's about 15 minutes long. They both run about 15 minutes long each. There is some scene-specific commentary as well as the theatrical trailer. It's a brilliant transfer for Henry Clouseau's film, and it is an extremely brilliant film. This was a movie that Hitchcock himself had wanted to do, but Clouseau had gotten the rights to the book and filmed before Hitchcock did. Of course, Hitchcock was... It frustrated Hitchcock that he did not get to make this film, and he bought up the rights to that author's next book right away, which, by the way, became a film called Vertigo. Anyway, the movie starts in a remote boarding house. For all you newbies out there, think H2O and Halloween, and it deals with Michel. He's a very harsh pig of a man. He's married to Christina, who is rich and fragile and pretty much lets him get away with anything. And you know that because she is best friends with Nicole, who is his mistress. Both girls are fed up with him and what he's done to them. We see Nicole wearing sunglasses at the beginning of the movie because, well, he's beaten her. And we see not too long afterwards a scene with, it's implied that he rapes his wife and does so on a regular basis. Pretty much he abuses these women in any way that you can possibly think of. Emotional, physical, sexual. Nothing is out and out shown in the film, but it's really implied. There is no niceness to this guy at all. At the beginning of the film, we already know, and there's going to be a lot of spoilers here. I got to preface that right now. So if you haven't seen the movie, you might want to turn this off until you see the 1955 Diaboliques. That Nicole and Christina have decided that the only way to get rid of this guy is to kill him. He's not going to leave. He's not going to let her survive, and he's not going to let her live and have her money and take care of the school. Now, he's been misrunning the school. He's been giving the kids rotten fish and, like, crusts of bread and sausage, and basically they've had the school's been, like, horribly ran. This is her big dream. This is her security, her safety net. She loves her students. She loves the school. And one thing I've got to say right away is when you're watching this movie, notice how the film is shot. There are some amazing there's some amazing cinematography in the film, but there's some incredible shots that you should really notice. One of them is after a particularly horrible dinner at near the beginning of the film. The wife is fed up with the way that he's acting and the crap that he's feeding the kids, and she kind of goes off from the table and sits down where the kids would sit, and the mistress and the husband are sitting kind of together at the table, and the shot is in the way that it's shot is kind of lengthened, and you can see the isolation from the wife and the mistress and the husband. It's very telling in the film, and if you watch movies for things like this, it's very telling for later on in the film. It's a very visual clue to what's to come. So basically, Nicole and Christine go to Nicole's place in Noir, right? And plan to get him to come there because they're going to poison him and drown him in the bathtub. Now, the way it's shot is perfect for later on. So the plan goes off pretty much without a hitch, and she poisons her husband. Well, Nicole puts the poison in the drink. Nicole.
It's not a poison.
It's a sedative.
Yeah.
To knock him out so that they can
Nicole puts it in the whiskey.
So Nicole puts it in the whiskey. He drinks 3 glasses of it, and then Nicole drowns him because Christine can't watch. She goes out to get other things while the drowning is being done. This is a very important plot point later on in the film. The next day, drain the water from the tub, put him into a wicker basket, and go back to the school at night and plop the body into the pool, hoping that it's going to be found in a couple of days so that they can say, well, he was drunk, stumbled into the water, drowned, and they find his body. Unfortunately, they're waiting for the body to kind of come up, but after 2 or 3 days, when it doesn't, bodies normally do, they get slightly worried. Now, at this point, Christina is kind of freaking out, wants to drain the pool. Nicole decides to fake having the throwing keys that land into the pool and have the pool drained in. And there's nobody in there. There is no body. She 3 days later, she wanders into a mortuary where a body had recently been found, only to find out that it's not her husband's, but that she catches the attention of an ex-police commissioner who's now kind of a private detective, drumming a business on his own by hanging out at the morgue. And he decides he's going to find her husband for her, whether she wants it or not, and he's sure her husband's alive. At this point, we kind of don't know if her husband's alive or dead, or if he's haunting her, or if there's something even more nefarious going on. Now, scoot right to the end of the film right now, and basically we find out that at the end, she comes into the her heart's giving out on her. She goes into the bathroom, and as is the classic scene from anybody that's seen it, her husband is there in the supposedly dead in the water, and he starts to rise with completely white eyes, and her heart gives out on her. He gets out, pops out the contacts, and goes to change his clothes, and of course in comes his mistress, who has been working with him all this time to make his wife's heart fail. Now, early on in the film, there'd been a little boy that had seen him, and nobody believed the boy, so we ended up getting punished, having to stand in the corner. At the end of the film, by the way, the detective comes in and arrests them both, saying they're going to get 15 to 20 years for the girl's murder. At the end of the film, the boy says that he's got his slingshot back because it was given back to him by Christina, who is supposed to be dead. And of course, nobody believes him, and he ends up in the corner again, and the movie ends there. The school is being closed down, and he has to wait in the corner until his family comes to pick him up. So it ends on a kind of ambiguous note. Myself, and I think my better half took this to mean that more than likely the double cross was triple cross. The detective worked with the girl, who obviously was in danger from this pair, to fake her death in order to basically get them to come out and just pretty much take off, because she was in danger, and she would be in danger for the rest of her life from these people. You can take it any way you want to. That was the way that I took the film, and I got to say, it was a great film. The lighting on the film was incredible, and when you're watching this, you can tell that he worked with a lot of silent film people. Clouseau took his crew from people that worked on silent classics, like Dreyer, like Carl Theodor Dreyer's films. The cinematographer that worked with Dreyer is working on this film here, and he wanted to do that because he wanted to take a very visual film and make a very complete story. And I got to say, he does so, and he does so brilliantly. There are shots in this movie that would be used over and over again in other films that use this type of kind of like noir-esque thriller aspects. And it's one of those films that you want to go back to even after you know the twist, just to rewatch, just to see how beautiful it is. And if you're a student of film like I am, you're not just watching it for the film itself. You're watching it to see all the aspects of the film. And this is not something that you're going to watch once and totally get everything that you want out of the film. You're going to have to go back again. You're going to see the way that the film was shot, the way that people were composed, and the way that people just moved from scene to scene. Everything in this film is done for a specific reason. Clouseau was one of those guys that was very, very specific about how he wanted things done. Shots would be taken and retaken just to get those details, those specific details in. As mentioned in the introduction, in one scene when Simone is upset, she walks out back on to, but he made her come back and do it again because her hands in her pockets weren't tight enough to show that she was angry. Her hands were loose. That's how much of a stickler for detail that this director is. This is the director that was considered by many to be like the French Hitchcock, and by some, Hitchcock was considered to be the English version of him. The difference here is that Clouseau, who also made the brilliant Wages of Fear, another great film, but Diaboliques is, in my opinion, by and far, is his masterpiece. Now, this is, unarguably his masterwork. He could have gone on to make more films, genre films, and could have gotten pegged genre-wise. He didn't do that. And then one thing to note is that Vera Clouseau, beautiful girl who plays the wife Christine in this one, Christina, she does actually have a heart condition in real life, and she died 8 years later, on her just a few months shy of her 47th birthday. She died very young and very beautiful, and she only got to act in 3 films, which her husband did. This one, Wages of Fear, and another film. And they're worth checking out. She is gorgeous in this film, and since it's French, she gets the only, I guess, for 55 too, not nude sequence, but provocative sequence near the ending in a see-through nightgown, which must have been shocking for back in 1955.
Not in France.
Yeah, maybe not in France. So, but as a male, it kind of distracted me for a second, but it was a great sequence. This film was fantastic. I recommend it. If you haven't got it on Criterion, I really recommend that you pick up this Criterion. It's a great edition. There are great interviews, great special features on this film. It's a beautiful transfer. You're going to really want this in your collection if you're a thriller fan. This is something that really belongs in any true movie fan's collection. If you are at all interested in thrillers, if you think you've seen it all by watching Hitchcock, you haven't. You've got to go out and see Diaboliques by Clouseau, 1955. And I'm glad I watched it, and I think I'll be watching it again sometime in the next few weeks. But for me right now, the video's almost over. I'm almost hitting that mark again, and it's time for tea.